Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about my week number 12 defenses to stream for fantasy football in 2021. Inside today's video, we're going to be going in depth into 5 different defenses that I believe you guys should be looking to pick up off the waiver wire right now based upon their matchups for week number 12. But before we could get into things, I would like to ask, if you are new to the channel and you do end up enjoying today's video, to please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, whether you are new to the channel or not, please make sure to hit that like button. It would help us out a ton. And if you would like to follow me on Twitter, please do so at NotoriousFNTSY. So without further ado, let's get into my week number 12 defenses to stream. We begin with the number 1 defensive stream of the week, and that is the Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. Right now, the Chicago Bears are being rostered in 26% of leagues on Yahoo. So the Chicago Bears last week go up against the Baltimore Ravens in what should have been an absolute smash matchup. Now, normally with Lamar Jackson, with Hollywood Brown, that would not be the case, but without Lamar Jackson especially, this could have been an easy game for the Chicago Bears. They get 6 sacks in this game, 1 INT, and 16 points allowed, and they managed to somehow lose to the Baltimore Ravens. But at the end of the day, there is still a big difference, in my opinion, between the Baltimore Ravens, even without Lamar Jackson, and the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions do not seem as though they are going to have Jared Goff under center, so it's going to be another Tim Boyle experience. And Tim Boyle did not play very good at all up against the Cleveland Browns last week. The Browns had 2 interceptions up against the Lions, as well as allowing just 10 points in that game. This is the first game on the Thanksgiving slate, the Chicago Bears up against the Detroit Lions, and this game is going to put you in a food coma before you even have any fucking turkey. This game is going to put you to sleep. It is going to be a very low-scoring matchup, and I believe that the Chicago Bears defense, while they haven't been the defense of prior years where they were one of the best defenses in the NFL, it does not matter. The Detroit Lions offense is that bad that I believe that the Chicago Bears could be one of the top defenses on the week, thus making them my number 1 streaming defense. Next up, we move to the Dallas Cowboys going up against the Las Vegas Raiders this week. The Cowboys defense is currently being rostered in 62% of Yahoo leagues. So the Dallas Cowboys go up against the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City last week in what could have been the highest scoring matchup of the week. Everyone is talking this game up. Everyone's talking about how this is going to be a tit-for-tat game, a high-scoring game between Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, that this is going to be so fun. It's going to be like the Rams versus the Chiefs in 2018 when the game was like 54-51, but instead, the game is an absolute snooze fest, and neither offense could get it up. In that game, the Dallas Cowboys defense had 3 sacks, 1 INT, 1 fumble recovery, and 19 points allowed. The Dallas Cowboys defense did that to Patrick Mahomes. Now imagine what the Dallas Cowboys defense is going to do to the Las Vegas Raiders. This game also just so happens to be on Thanksgiving. I think that the Raiders are dead at this point in the season. The Las Vegas Raiders offense cannot do anything. Early on in the season, every single year, we trick ourselves into thinking that the Raiders are going to be a good team because they always start off the season on fire. They get like 3-4 wins in a row, and then you start thinking, you know what? Maybe the Raiders are back. And then out of nowhere, just like every single year, they end up being a complete and utter unmitigated disaster. And where we are sitting at this point in the season, that is exactly what the Raiders are. The Bengals defense went up against the Raiders last week in Las Vegas, having 2 sacks, 1 INT, 1 fumble recovery, and 13 points allowed. The Dallas Cowboys defense loves getting turnovers, and I believe this game could get messy. The Dallas Cowboys just lost to the Chiefs. They couldn't even score a fucking touchdown up against the Chiefs. I think they are going to mop the floor with the Las Vegas Raiders, and I love the Cowboys defense in this matchup. Next, we pivot to the Miami Dolphins going up against the Carolina Panthers. The Dolphins defense is currently being rostered in 61% of leagues. If you guys think that, oh, the last defense, the Cowboys 62%, the Dolphins 61%, are there going to be more lower roster defenses as we get deeper into the video? And the answer is yes. So the Dolphins going up against the Carolina Panthers this week. The Dolphins defense has been on fire for 3 weeks in a row. Up against the Texans, they look great. Up against the Baltimore Ravens, they look great. Up against the Jets, they don't look amazing because Joe Flacco was actually able to fucking do something in that game, but still, the Dolphins defense has looked rock solid as of recently. Last week up against the Jumbo Jets in MetLife, 2 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, and 17 points allowed. This week they get the Panthers, and I will admit that the Panthers offense looks a lot better with Cam Newton under center. The Washington football team went up against them last week, 1 sack and 21 points allowed. The Washington football team defense all offseason was getting talked up as one of the most fierce units in the NFL. Turns out they were far from it, but they did still look all right up against the Carolina Panthers in that game. I think that the Dolphins defense is able to hold Cam Newton down a little bit in this game, thus making them have an all right game. This is definitely not as ideal of a matchup as last week up against the Jets, but I do believe that the Dolphins defense is riding hot. They are on fire, so I will continue to stream them this week up against the Carolina Panthers. But before we can get on into the next defense, I would like to let you guys know that we have partnered with Yahoo Fantasy this NFL season to bring you guys some great offers. Check out our exclusive limited time offer, which gets you guys 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. To qualify, you need to be new to Yahoo, sign up for an account via the link down below, deposit, and play. That's it. Yahoo will send us your name after you play in your first paid contest, and we'll reach out to you via email with your coupon. If you would like immediate access, that's okay as well. All you got to do is email support@awesemo.com, and we will get you set up immediately. You can also claim a free $10 down below, which can be used to enter any Yahoo contest, including the $1 million Everyone Wins Thanksgiving Baller on Thanksgiving. Obviously, make sure to use our DFS tools and projections designed specifically for Yahoo to give you guys the best shot at winning big. Make sure you guys do check out the Everything Wins Thanksgiving Baller. Everyone wins. You cannot lose on this contest. Please make sure that you guys do check that out. Next, we pivot to the Washington football team defense going up against the Seattle Seahawks. This week, the Washington football team defense is being rostered in 28% of leagues. So I do know that I kind of just poo-pooed a little bit on the Washington football team defense, right? I kind of just made fun of them a little bit. But in fantasy football, when you're streaming defenses, a lot of the time, it doesn't even really matter how good the defense actually is. All that matters is the matchup. And the Seattle Seahawks offense looks like complete and utter horseshit at this point in the season. It appears that Russell Wilson clearly came back too early from that injury, and it seems like the Seattle Seahawks offense is just down in the dumps. Washington football team, again, I'll reiterate what I said before, 1 sack up against the Panthers and 21 points allowed. The Cardinals last week went up against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle, 4 sacks, 13 points allowed. Now, obviously, the football team defense isn't as good as the Arizona Cardinals defense, but at the end of the day, this Seattle Seahawks offense is limp dick. They can't get anything going, and I believe that the Washington football team defense, while beat up, even without Chase Young, will be able to put up a hell of a performance up against the Seattle Seahawks. Final defense to discuss in today's video is the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the New York Football Giants in MetLife. Right now, the Eagles defense is being rostered in 19% of leagues. The Philadelphia Eagles last week up against the Saints on defense, they looked chef's kiss menu week. 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, 1 touchdown, and 29 points allowed. The Buccaneers went up against the Giants on Monday Night Football, and things were great for the Buccaneers defense. 2 sacks, 2 INTs, 1 fumble recovery, and 10 points allowed. Now, I understand that they just fired Jason Garrett, so maybe the offense will look a little bit better for the Giants, and maybe I agree with that statement, but you still have the Daniel Jones effect. It's like the Jameis Winston effect, where you know that there's a chance that Daniel Jones just carves up. He absolutely carves up the Eagles defense like a fucking Thanksgiving turkey, but there's also a chance that Daniel Jones throws multiple interceptions, that Daniel Jones fumbles the ball, and that the Giants offense just can't get it going. So I do believe that the Eagles are a great streaming defense on the week. So let me know down below in the comment section if there are any defenses that I did not end up talking about in today's video that you guys want to discuss, because if you guys are in smaller leagues, then there's going to be a lot more defenses available, whereas if you play in a deeper league, maybe a 14 or a 16 team league, then maybe you need different advice at the defensive position. So let me know down below in the comment section. I love you guys all so much. I hope you have a great rest of your guys' day, and I'll be back in a little bit with another video. So I love you guys as always. Good boy.